Okay, so now I got myself back up to where I was. Let's do weighting part 2. So that was the painting skin weights. And I just double checked my head, grabbed this, and see I've got some good weighting. There's some problems here with this, the neck joints affecting the shirt, but that's good and solid. Yay! Actually, if I do this, remember I can right click and I can hit assume preferred angle and it goes back to where it was. Actually, just double checking just in case I did anything funny. Nope. Okay, so let's do the arm slightly differently. And what I'll do is right now we're in object mode up here, and I'm going to switch to component mode. So you can see my vertices. And let's pick a finger. I can go like this, and when you're in component mode, you won't select the bones because we're down here in component mode. Let's use the Windows General Editors Component Editor. And what I'll do is I'll open this up, and I'll look here for smooth skins, and you can see all the vertices that I've got here, and it's showing me each joint that's affecting it. And so this joint, if I right click over it, you can see the name of it. That's index number 3. So that's this one here. Index number 4 is that one. And I think I want most of the weighting here to just go to number 3. So I'm just going to drag down. I'll type in 1. Whoop, and there, it's all weighted to that one. And just so you see this in real time here, let's just go back and grab the joint here, and I'll grab these and I'll just rotate them slightly so you can kind of see a little bit of interaction as I'm doing this. And let's go back to component mode. So those are selected. And let's go and grab, say, that one. And here, I'll just grab the selection tool there. And then this one, you can see all the different joints is weighted to. This one here probably just deserves 0 to begin with. This should be primarily on 3, maybe with a little bit of joint number 2 somehow kicking in here. You know what? Based on where that is, no, I'm going to say 1. 100%. Boop! There. And let's see if I can grab the one up from this. If I go up, there we go. I just press the up arrow, and because of visually, you can pick walk up like that. Great. Index number 4, again, we don't want anything on that. And then this one's kind of almost at the middle of the joint here. So let's give this actually go on this side, and I'm going to say 0.7. Okay, you can see that adjust a little bit. Let's go up again. Oh, and I did it again. Let's go up here. Got to have your cursor activated in this window, otherwise it'll do something funny over there. And I'll just hit F, and you can see actually my trick didn't work that well because it deselected something. So click on that one, double click, get the vertice loop. And let's take this as index number 1. I'm going to 0 that one out, and we got these to deal with. What I might do is just make them even. So what if I put 0.5 on this one? I have this highlighted, and there's a little slider down here, and I can adjust how the influence is working. So I think that might look a little bit better right there. Take that one, double click. Index number 1, 0, enter. Let's see, number 2 over here. Looks like they should get most of the weighting on this. So let's go 1, enter. Actually, I'm going to go back to this one here. It looks like the kink is kind of weird. So I'm going to take the number 2 here, highlight it, and I'll play with my slider till it looks a bit smoother like that. Okay, that looks good. Take this one, double click, and that'll be number 2. So I'm just going to go in 1. This one, double click. Let's see, do we want any influence from number 1? Probably. Number 2, yeah. These two, though, let's just go and hit 0. So those are gone. And then maybe we'll make this like 0.5. And then I have it highlighted so I can kind of figure out the slider. Do I want more influence from number 1? I think 0.5 is pretty good because the joint is right there. How about this one? Again, I got a bunch of these columns here. They say 0, but they're like really, really small. There's another way I can get rid of those too. But that looks good. And this should go primarily to this one. So if I go and I take this and I put this at 0.1, that'll put these all at 0.9. Okay, and let's take this one, double click. Oh, I missed. There, and let's put that all at 1. And this one here should all be 1. Okay, and let's just see how do my finger look when I go in here and I grab these joints and I grab the rotate tool and I rotate it. Okay, that's decent. You can kind of see that this area here needs to go a bit more to that palm joint or something like that. And this might take me a little while. I don't want to do all the fingers. I can go and mirror them afterwards too. Something else I might look at here is the wrist. Okay, so there's my wrist joint. So I don't want this thing to rotate in the y-axis because this thing's going to take care of that. It's going to twist it. And I might just see how this looks when I twist that over and I twist this over. I probably want this to be kind of soft and doughy in this area because, like, look, it's pretty crunchy right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is if I go in here and I grab a vertex, I'm going to go into component mode, grab this one, and double-click on that one. Again, I could go in and play with all these settings in here for the component editor, playing with the sliders. But actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go grab this, and I'm going to grow my selection once, twice, and I'm going to see if the devil likes me today. Right-click, Paint Skin Waves tool. And I had that selected, but it forgot. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm in component mode. Go to the tool. Okay, there they are. Okay, something triggered it off for whatever reason. I should probably be saving right now. You'd think I'd learned my lesson, but no. With all this selected, and if I have the ulna joint selected, I'm going to see what happens when I go to smooth and I hit flood. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay, sometimes that will do exactly what you want. That's just too easy. Oh, and I missed again. There, right click, vertex. Grab this one, double click. Come on, you bastard. And let's see what happens if I go in and I grab this one, go to the Paint Skin Waves tool, and let's go to the wrist this time, and I'm going to hit smooth, I'm going to hit fluid. Okay, and let's see if I can go like this and go back here. Actually, there is a thing here when you're in mode. You can go in and select and do other things too. I should probably be using some of that too, but fluid. With the wrist selected. What about flood with the ulna selected? Not doing much. Elbow. Okay, and let's just see what that looks like when I grab the rotate tool. Grab this joint and that one. I do this. That gives me a bit of forearm action. That's cool. Let's check out this one. Most of the weighting should be done already on that one because of the high drop-off rate. This one, what time are we at? 8 minutes. Okay. And then this one, we've got to go in here and think about this a little bit because we've got a clavicle joint that's going to give us a shrugging action. And let's just do this shirt really, really fast. But remember that if I take a look at these joints here in the middle, that they give me kind of a nice volume right here for bending my torso over or whatever. Got a little bit of issues down here, but let's go back here, assume preferred angle, everything goes back to normal. Take this one first. And grab this Paint Waves tool. Go to this one, select the influence, and maybe I'll use a bit of add. And I'll just turn my opacity down as I do this. Not too much. It looks like I've done too much already. But I'll probably have to take like one of these joints up in here, that one. Let's go and select that influence, and I'll bring this back. I'll add it in here. And this is just picky work. Let's see, joint number 1, I don't want to influence this. I want this influenced by, I want that on this joint right here, so I'll keep pulling this in. Maybe I'll have to crank that up a little bit. There's also ways to lock the joints, but I think that's more than I want to show here. Let's just make sure I isolate select. Make sure this area here doesn't do anything weird. And I'm going to mirror this, so that's why I'm only worrying about half of this. Okay, not worrying about the other side. Let's go and hit smooth and see what smooth is going to do for me in here. Let's go back and unisolate this. Maybe I'll switch to the clavicle here, select influence, and I'll smooth this in so the clavicle gets a bit of this action. And actually it looks like the shoulder is getting a lot of it. I'm going to add, that's really, really low. But it's still kind of coming in here really, really fast. Great. Anyway, you can do combinations of these two things, the component editor and the painting skin weights. I notice I'm really, really fast on the fingers going any of the component editor. It's just faster than doing this picky paint work. But sometimes things like the torso here is going to give you a nicer result quickly. And just remember, smooth is the devil. Let's go and crank this up. And see if smooth is going to help me out here, or it's going to crash me again. Okay, and maybe down in here, a little bit of smoothing. But it looks like that's the shoulder's going to crash in here. It's going to look nice. Shoulder, maybe if I put this back to add. Here, I'm going to isolate that for a second, get the insides of the sleeves. Come on, you bastard. Paint. There. And then the shoulder, I'll go and use the smooth. So smooth this out and blend it. Maybe if I select the clavicle as I'm smoothing, that will bring this back. And okay, so I get just a little bit of give on the geometry. There, that looks like it's blending fairly well. And we'll save doing any kind of claw simulations till next time, so that should be fine. Let's turn that off. Actually, there's a problem here with the hips. Let's just quickly fix that. What are we at, the 12-minute mark? Great. Okay, and yeah, the hips, I noticed the shirt was acting kind of funny here. I kind of like it when it's picking it up right here, but let's go down to the root, and where the hell is this thing? See, this is like faster just to go here and hit select influence. And see how this is working. Add. I'm just going to add this so it's like solid with the hips. Looks like we got a bit of that. Oh, this is probably from that root there, being part of the root. Sticking through. Okay, and I'm going to call that good. Right around here someplace. Okay, stop tweaking. I'll switch to smooth and see what the devil has to say. Actually, it's not too bad. And then I'll go back up here and let's get this thing, and maybe I'll switch to the root joint. I'll smooth and bring it back. Oh yeah. Okay, and again, I'm trying to leave the other joints alone because I always feel that a nice doughy action works up there fairly well. Maybe this joint here, let's go and use a little bit of that in there and hit, oh yeah. Smooth that out. I've got the opacity up. It's blending. Oh. Select. I thought I crashed again. Okay, but that should work out just about fine. And let's just test it out, get the rotate tool out, check the pelvis joint. Whoop. Okay, and that seems to be fine. Let's go in here to the root and assume preferred angle. See what these look like right now. Yeah, those are good. There's a little bit of something crashing right up in here, but I should be fine on that. Again, I can do some more painting of the skin weights. That should be good. So I'm going to call that good for now, and I'm going to stop. Oh, and yeah, if I take this, don't forget that you mirror across. Go to skin, mirror skin weights, across the YZ, positive to negative, and bloop, there. And I'll do the same thing here. I'll just hit mirror skin weights. Anything else in there that's bothering me? I think I already did the pants, did everything else. Okay, cool. And so I'm going to call that waiting. Stop.